Hi guys, and welcome to the first of our tutorials that you'll have to go through for learning Flash. This is a small series that I put together to assist you during the class. Generally we'll be covering things within the class itself, but of course you can always come back to these videos and go through them as well. Now, the purpose of this one video, is setting up Flash so it's accessible to you and it's accessible to me, so we're all working together to create our short little animation snippets this semester. So to follow me the best you can is that we have the same sort of interface set up. Now the cool thing about Flash is that the windows and everything can float around all over the place, and I have a standard way of working which is more in line with the way Flash is set up for an animator. So let's do that. Okay, so we'll start with ActionScript 3 file. It doesn't matter so much at the moment. Generally, when it comes to coding and things like that, we'll probably go to ActionScript 2, but don't stress too much about that specific file type. It just opens up different avenues for us. Okay, so now to set up our video in a really standard way, we have to set up our stage to start off with. Now our stage is set up for a standard video type. Okay, at the moment it's over here in the properties bar off to the side. You can see mine's currently set to 25, 550, 400, and I've changed the stage color. So let's go in and modify those settings. Okay, now the document dimensions we're looking for are 1280 by 720. Fairly straightforward. And that is as good as it gets. If you click any of these things, it changes those values up there. Okay, don't worry about scaling content because we have nothing on the setup as it is. Now, what I do need you to do is change your background color to this one, #00FF00. Okay, now the reason it's this color is so we can see when we're painting. Okay, it's a garish fluorescent green. It's not the color that you'll use for all your standard backgrounds. Okay, it's just a color that will allow us to see through mistakes. Okay, our frame rate should be set at 25. Yours might be set at 24 at the moment. That's fine. Now in CS 5.5 I have this little extra button, autosave. Now if you have access to CS 5.5 you can click that on and autosave every few minutes. Really handy tool to have. Okay, if you don't have it, just remember to Control S, which is save file, every couple of minutes, just so you're not losing any work if something happens to the computer. Okay, I do want to set this as the default value, and I want to go OK. Now this is a good standard setup. You can see that it's well beyond the size, so I'm just going to go to this little window here and fit in window, and you can see that it resizes it. Might have to do that again later, that's fine. And in fact if you hold down Control and plus and minus, you can zoom in and zoom out. And it's a good way of getting around your drawing. If you hold down space and click with the mouse, you can pan the image around. So we can move around and get things happening within Flash. Okay, but we do want to set it up in a specific way so we can work to the best of our ability. So I'm going to go into this little drop down menu up here where it says Essentials, which is the Essentials standard setup. Now I already have a workspace set up, but I'll take you through the process. No stress. let's go to, you'd think animator, but not. What we're going to do is go to classic. Okay. Classic puts some things in some specific spots for us. For one, it puts the toolbar over to the side. Okay. And you can use that one. It also puts the properties bar and some extra buttons here that weren't possibly floating around at the time. It also moves the timeline to the top and places the motion editor behind. Now we're going to open up a couple of extra windows and have them set up. First of all, our properties, very handy window to have. We want to leave that open, but because we're dealing with wider screens, let's add an extra menu panel over here. Now we want the library. The library is accessible by pressing F11 on your keyboard. Okay, with your library, okay, you can see that it pops up in the side menu here. It's got motion presets and everything. So, and those are those two buttons, motion presets and library. Now, I can click and drag these by, see the little dotted line there? I can click on that and drag it out. And you'll see if I hover over anything, it tries to, I can either put it inside another window, I can put it beside windows, okay, I can put it underneath other windows and move things around. But what I'm going to do is grab those two right over to the side and drop it in as its own panel off to the side of properties, right on the edge of the screen. There you go. Now, once it's over there, I'll expand it out and you can see my library. It moves the properties across, but that's alright. It still keeps our window set up. Now the other two windows we want to adjust, okay, or add in are the color menu and the swatches menu, which are really handy to have around. Now I'm just going to grab that again and drop it in on top. Now don't drop it into, because what that does is it adds it in as separate menu elements. What you need to do, let me put those two back there so you can see where it was. If you click and hover over the top, you'll see there's a single blue bar across the top of the library there, and just drop it. Okay, so it puts the library a little bit further down, your color swatches, your properties. Now for those of you who will do any Photoshop with me, I'll set my workspace up in a similar way. It's fairly standard. We can now right click and we've got to expand them first, I suppose. Close group and close group, and that gets rid of those extra panels that might have been in there. Don't accidentally click on the timeline, because that brings down, you change your size and you want your timeline accessible. Okay, and that's our standard setup. To save that, go to new workspace and type the name of your workspace and go OK. Now that will stay on that computer as long as it's not wiped. If the computer is wiped or cleaned during the semester, you'll have to go back and redo that. Okay, so make sure you've got your new workspace set up with your name, okay, which I have, 10 Years Groovy Workspace. There we go. Okay, I've got some little adjustments that I've made over here to make the toolbar wider. Okay, yours will look like this. Okay, I've still got some extra tool panels, but I'll close them for your convenience, I suppose. Close group, close group, close group, and close group. There we go. Now to expand the toolbar out to be double wide, there we go. I just click and drag the window. So, timeline. Pardon me. Timeline, actions, don't worry about that too much. We'll get to that when we get to Cert 4. Okay, so don't stress about if you can't see the actions frame. And new workspace. Okay, just check to see whether your document settings have been set to make default. So they always load up like that. But once again, you'll have to go through this process again if you come to the point where the computer's been wiped or you start on another machine. Okay, so this won't save from machine to machine. Your individual setups will have to be done each time you log into a new machine. Okay, well, now you're ready for some flashing.